This guy has golf with President Trump.
And there's probably 60 SUVs. Didn't think anything of it. I walk in and President Trump's there.
What was it like that you got to play with MJ?
So Jordans were out there, MLB and NFL players, Ricky Fowler's out there. And, oh my gosh, there's two people in the whole pro shop. It's me and President Trump talking to the head.
Yeah,
and it was a rainy day.
With him, maybe.
Yeah, it was insane.
Did you get to talk to him?
Yeah, so I talked to him that day, and that's how I got to golf with him. So he's like, yeah, we got rained out today. And I said, well, would love to come teach the president how to play golf, or teach Mr. President how to play golf. And he hears me and turns around, and he's like, bring it on.
Welcome to episode 2 of the Brighter Side podcast. I am very excited about our next guest. This guy has golf with President Trump. He has golf with His Airness, Mr. Michael Jordan. Today's episode isn't just about golf, though. This episode is about the hustle, the grit of building a brand, building a business. And I have none other than Kevin.
Wow. Best intro ever. Appreciate that. No, I'm pumped. Pumped to be here. I'm honored to be the second guest.
Yeah,
It's
well,
awesome.
Kevin
First
and
one's
I
awesome.
have gotten to know each other a little bit, but I wanted to have you on because of just your story. And I know a little bit about it, but I also have kind of asked you to say some stuff. He was telling me some stories, and I was like, whoa, hold up. I want to hear this live because I want to have him on the pod. And so we are here finally. He's a busy guy. So kind of tell everybody before I get into it, sort of a little bit about you, kind of what you want them to know, and then we're going to dive in deep.
Awesome. No, it's first of all, thanks again. Honored to be here. This where we're at down here in Naples, Florida is kind of where it begins. But before that, I was born in Miami, Florida. My dad's a pastor, missionary. My whole family's pastors, missionaries.
Yeah.
I was the black sheep that was wanting to start businesses when I was 9 years old, 10 years old. Unfortunately, a lot of times that was in the streets of Miami and the wrong businesses.
Yeah.
Looking up to and learning, but learned a ton about hustle, grind, and always had a ministry focus too. Well, I shouldn't say always. I definitely got sidetracked many times through business, but just been on the grind through entrepreneurship since I was probably 11 years old. I joked at Bible study a couple weeks ago that I've probably started more LLCs than anyone you guys knew. I currently probably have 20 LLCs and have started over 100 in my lifetime. Paid a lot of money to the sunbiz.com or .org.
Bro, you're preaching to the choir.
The choir.
Yeah.
But that grind, all of it's made me to what we've been able to do now. And honestly, I've told you as the first, I've got a couple of companies doing really well now that are completely God's. And that's been the biggest part. I know that was the reason other businesses didn't work.
Yeah.
But long story short, I mean, entrepreneur, went through, been in Florida pretty much my whole life, except 6 years in Virginia. I went to school in Virginia at Liberty University. Yeah. And stayed and did some real estate and worked at the school. And
I saw that.
Did well there and loved it there. And God moved and my mom got sick and a couple of different things happened. I moved back to Naples and realized I don't know why I ever left and planned to never leave again when I came back. But been blessed the last couple months and last couple of years, but play golf with some great people and playing a sport that now I'm a pro golfer, playing some events, and I can play in stuff that I want to and enjoy this lifelong sport in the best city in the world for golf and freedom.
I want to dive into in a little bit. I want to dive into some of the people that you've played golf with, but one question, something I wanted to touch on that you asked or that you said just a minute ago was that you had done a bunch of LLCs. I was telling my wife, this after Kevin and I also know each other from a Bible study. And so that's how I got introduced to Kevin and learned about him and getting to know him. But when you had said that you had, done a bunch of LLCs, I was telling her, she literally laughed because bro, I've done the same thing. I mean, even last year I was going to start a girls basketball club. I got an LLC. I mean, I didn't even have one player yet. I was on my own daughter and I'm like, here I am, got a whole program,
website, uniforms
drawn up. I mean, when I go, man, I'm like all in. So I totally get that feeling. And I have so many websites that I was going to start and I'd go buy the the
URL.
Yeah, it's like I'm ready to rock and roll. So I think entrepreneurially, man, there's just something about it.
Yep.
Did you what would you say? You said you started many businesses. What would you say? Like you said that got you involved God in this one, which is that what you think was different from some of the other ones, or you think it was just experience? Or
Yeah, I think it was, first of all, myself. You can get in the way of so much. Like God wants you to bless, or God wants to bless His people. He wants everyone to have peace and joy, and you get in the way of it when you're an entrepreneur, especially. You get in the spot where it's like it's about me, it's about the cars, it's about the house, it's about living in neighbor. Like for these businesses I started recently that are doing well, it was not about that. It was about hiring good people, and it was about making people's lives better. It was about spreading the gospel. It was about making people feel more at peace with life. We were in a time of, I was traveling with the PGA Tour, and I had I'm friends with Bob Koepka, Brooks Koepka's dad.
Sure.
And I was with Brooks Koepka when he won the PGA Championship in Rochester, and he was miserable. And I'm like, this guy just got live money checked in the bank, most money anyone's ever made in sports. These live golfers, and one day, just swiping this swipe of the pen, you're getting hundreds of millions of dollars in the bank, not over 10 years like these other sports pay. But miserable because he didn't have Jesus, he didn't have joy, he didn't have assurance, and he didn't have good people around him. Yeah. So it kind of motivated me beyond the people I was playing golf with, and God moving in that direction. That it's like, man, and the world we were going through COVID, went through other stuff too. That I'm like, people have no hope. And luckily in Florida, we didn't have as much fear and stuff being pushed on us. But I just wanted to make a difference. So I think that's why these have worked, because the goal was better. I've had a lot of businesses that were like, I'm going to get rich quick. Yeah. And I had quick money and made quick money. Yeah. But it was never lasted, or never worked out. So
it doesn't. I think that's like a big misconception. Even sometimes own my own business, I feel like I think maybe I can crack the code and somehow like get there faster than someone else. And in Naples, especially, I mean, there's definitely some younger people that are driving some nice cars, but for the most part, it's successful business owners that have been in businesses for a long time, sold it, or been at a company for a long time and been successful. There's always that misnomer in there, but I mean, for the most part, it's like, man, it's a grind, and that's a misconception like a lot of people have.
Yeah, it's true. And the other thing that helped me a ton was I was like 30 years old, probably 6 or 7 years ago. I had some good businesses, ran some good businesses, made good money, made other people good money, other business owners. And I was reading books of people I looked up to and that I wanted to be like. And I started to read through Mark Cuban's book, who I don't really align with now. But a bunch of entrepreneurs that didn't have a hit. Like, they didn't have a good business that hit. They tried a bunch of them, but they didn't have good businesses that hit till they were like 40. Yeah. And I was 30 at the time. I'm like, man, I'm looking up to these guys. I thought, honestly, in perception, that they were millionaires and doing really well at 25, 26. No one. There's Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah. I mean, Zuckerberg in college kind of founded this thing pretty young. Yeah. But nobody else has had this like home run at the beginning. They went through a ton of LLCs, a ton of businesses, ton of podcasts, ton of things, and then something hit when you learn and you go through all those things. And that's where hopefully I'm at now, and hopefully the 40-year-old one is coming too.
I know. I was saying, man, this is like my third or fourth podcast. So I was like, not that it's anything, but it's great. Like, man, it's like you keep trying stuff, and it's gonna be great. So I'm really excited about that. But I totally get it. So before we transition, one more question I had was, I guess, when did you know, like, Goated, like, when did you know you had something? Like, when was like, man, there's something different going on, or do you have a moment where you remember that? Or
yeah, I had two moments. We were selling. I had 12 putters. We started with putters. All I had to the company's name really was 12 putters, and everything in my storage unit from other businesses and travels and tournaments. But we had 12 putters. I sat in the living room and got on this app called Whatnot and was just telling people about my story. There's probably 20 people watching, and the numbers, first show, numbers started growing, 35 people, 40 people. And I'm like, I only have 12 putters. People are begging in the chat, because there's a chat. Please run that one on the left, run the Jordan one on the right, run this one on the, and I'm telling the story about Sheffield and playing Grove and President Trump and all these things. And people were into it. My wife was over there writing down notes so that we could ship stuff I was selling the little stuff. And they're begging to run the putters. Well, I ran a putter that the first one ever, and it went for like $500, $600, and I had a couple grand in the company to buy the mold, and I'm like, we afterwards were like under the table, like fist pump, my wife and I were like, we got something.
Yeah.
And that was one moment. And then I'd say, like, honestly, and that was a small moment. 7 months later, when we were in our own building and had a ton of inventory, the next big moment that we knew something was really good was when I had the Jordan logo on a putter illegally, right? I gave it to, I was giving it away. I had given it to the Jordan family and my buddies that know Michael Jordan. So I'd given them putters, and I had a putter on a table that had the Jordan logo on it. I had a putter that had my GOAT logo on it. Person, I said, you can choose. Person that wins the auction was like $1,200, and the person chose the Goated putter, the one with the GOAT on it instead of the Jordan logo. That was the second moment. My CFO and I went home. My wife and kids, they were asleep, but I'm like, we have something. Our logo is almost as cool. It's not as cool as the Jordan. I still don't say that. I hate to say that. It's disrespectful. I'm a Jordan guy, but it is. I mean, we have a movement of people that at that moment, that was probably 8 months ago, I don't have to use the Jordan logo anymore. So the next morning, my CFO and I were talking, and he's the one that said it, Chris. He's like, and he's a partner in the business. He's been with me from the beginning. He's like, I think we're cool enough. We don't have to use elephant print anymore. We can do some other stuff and put the GOAT on stuff. And that was a huge moment for us. That's big.
Yeah, that's super cool.
That was the moment.
Yeah,
so.
Kevin hooked me up with the Goated shirt, and I love it. It's simple, but like you're right. The logos are big. I'm big on it too. Like I always say, it's got to look good on a shirt. It's got to look good on like even a dad hat or something. Like something that's just like a symbol. And it's hard to say like Nike. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to replace the swish. I mean, I don't
say that. No.
And I think even with what you do applies to so much more than like what I do with landscape lighting. I mean, come on, like I get it. It's like, it is what it is. But so you got Goated, but you also have a couple branches of Goated. So talk about that. You have, I know you have Red State Golf. Yes. I know you have pickleball, and you have Goated. So kind of explain for the viewers that don't know who you are, like kind of how all that came about.
So we launched Goated first, Goated Golf. One of the months, so every month we celebrate a goat. One of the months after, I think 4th of July, we did a patriotic drop that went really well. And we're like, okay, let's lean into the patriotic stuff. Well, the next month we celebrated President Trump and we sold out. It was the fastest sellout of putters we've ever had, and for the most money. We sold them for $5.95, so $95 more than our typical putters.
Yeah.
And sold out, but we had a ton of hate mail because I was marketing to like the inner cities. And Atlanta, Miami, LA. It was a foolish move on my end to market it to those cities and then market Trump putters to LA, Miami, and New York, and Atlanta. So that made us branch off and create another LLC. So it's completely separate from Goated Golf. And I brought in some partners for Red State Golf. Bob Koepka's he's the reason I got to play with President Trump. Great dude. So we have that different LLC, but Goated is its own LLC with some DBAs that are awesome. Goated Pickleball has done really well. Goated Outdoors launches this summer. We were about to do Goated Fishing, but now it's Goated Outdoors. So we'll have some fishing, outdoor gear, and stuff like that. I didn't know about that. Goated, yeah. Not many people know that. So this summer, July, we'll be launching Goated Outdoors. I'm trying to stay focused. I was just talking to a mentor, and he's like, do one or two things really good. And I'm like, I know, I've heard that. It's just so hard not to go into these other.
Dude, I know, I'm all or nothing. And so like even just a little bit about like just even the spot. I was like, man, like I said, I'm like, man, I need this, I need that, I need this, JC, give me this, we need this. And it's like, whoa, man, just like you're in episode 2, bro. Just slow down. So I like different brother, different mother. Same kind of thing. Exactly. I get like the I don't know, man. I think that's what makes some people, I guess, better for being in business. And then sometimes I don't know if you feel this way, but like, why am I torturing myself? Like, why do I want to own my own business? This sucks. And then, for the most part, I would say, you have a bad day, but hey, we get another shot at it tomorrow. You know, so that's the nice thing.
I think it's the hard part in business too, is that it's that you have customers that say, hey, I would use you if you did plumbing. Well, maybe I'll start a plumbing company because this guy does really well. He's in Port Royal. I understand it. I understand it. And I'm the same way. I got people that want to match their pickleball paddle to their putter they just bought from us. I'm like, we're launching pickleball paddles.
Yeah.
And I can source that stuff really well. I mean, that's been my biggest asset. I think that's probably the biggest thing that I've been able to do is source. When I got to know Eric Trump pretty well, and he's like, you're a great entrepreneur, but you should stop telling people that. You should say you're a sourcer because you're the best sourcer I've ever met.
Yeah.
Is what Eric told me. And I was like, that was another moment that I was like, thank you, Lord, because I don't even know. He's like, when you're sourcing better than the Trumps,
that's saying something.
That's a good, so that was something that was big for me. And then it becomes even harder now. I'm praying for God's wisdom because it's like, since I can source these things, how do I not go to chapstick and go to beard products? I'm looking at making a beard product because everyone asked me to do a beard product. I'm like, I got to focus on one thing, on golf.
Before you get like strung too much and then end up doing something that costs you money.
Exactly.
I wanted to ask you, what was it like? You mentioned that you got to play with MJ, and you started to tell me this story, and I was like, well, hold up. I grew up in the 90s. Like, I lived in Kansas, but we got WGN, which is what they used to post the Bulls games on. So I got to watch, all of Michael's games. Nice. So I mean, I grew up as a huge fan. As I know, that doesn't make me unique, but so tell me the story, or finish the story of how you got to play with MJ. Because I think a lot of people would be interested to hear that story.
No, it was a crazy thing. So I was traveling with the PGA Tour. Jordan Spieth used a product. I used to be I was running a company that he used the product, so I would travel. I had tour badges, and Jordan Spieth and Justin Thomas played Rory McIlroy and Tiger Woods in Tampa under the lights, the TNT event. So I went to that event. There's only 500 people invited. Turned out to like a couple thousand people were there, but really cool group. It was an awesome experience, and met Gary Sheffield. So I'm sitting there, and Jordan Spieth and Annika Sorenstein came up, and they're saying hi to me. So other players, Vince Carter and these other guys were there, and they must have seen that like I'm interacting with some of these guys, and everyone loves golf. Sure. If you don't, you got to learn to love golf.
Yeah, right.
And so they're seeing that I knew those people, I think, and then I got to meet other players and NBA guys and NFL guys. Well, I grew up watching Gary Sheffield. I worked for the Marlins, was my first job. My dad was a manager at the Marlins Stadium. So hung out with Gary Sheffield for a couple hours, and he's like, and we're watching this event, and he's like, hey, you want to go out to Grove? Or I kind of probably asked. I'm like, hey, you remember at Grove? I want to go out to Grove.
Which
Michael
is Jordan's course, right?
Yeah. So a couple days later.
That's a private course. That's like, you don't just like, you got to get invited kind of thing, right?
Yeah. There's 4 gates. Presidents have been denied access. Yeah. FBI can't go out there unless they got there's it's an awesome spot. So a couple days later, we got to go out and play. It was a blessing. He's like, bring whoever you want. I brought a buddy of mine that has been wanting to play forever. He told me about it. And, had a great day, and there's no rules out there. You drive on the green. They bring food out. You're out there for 12 hours, 10 hours, whatever you want. You play in whatever order you want. There's 18 holes in an order, but there's just bouncing around. You could play with 20 guys. Someone could join you, and they could play 2 holes with you because they want to knock out 7 and 8.
That's so cool.
So Jordans were out there, MLB and NFL players. Ricky Fowler's out there, and it's a who's who of players. So we played a little match with a couple guys, and Jordan was awesome. The kids were awesome. His right-hand guys were there. Guys that run the Jordan brand were there. And didn't know who I was playing with at the time besides the greats, besides the guys that I knew. And played some matches and made some nice shots. And I had a Jordan-themed wedge. And they were all joking about how I was dialed with this Jordan wedge. And they're like, it's messed up. You're taking money off the group with this Jordan wedge.
That's cool.
And got invited to back out and get to play there a bunch. I was like with Gary Sheffield today. He came down to play and played a little match right before this, and been a good friend of mine. And that plug's been awesome. I've helped him with some products. He sourced. We're launching together a little training aid for baseball swing stuff. But so that was insane. I didn't even know what was happening. It was one of those scenarios like, love to play. Let's go play. I thought it was just him and I, and no idea what Grove was. Go through 4 gates and you pull up and they ask you, what balls do you want? That's the first thing they ask you. And the PGA Tour, they do that too. Like, what balls do you want on the range? Yeah. So I was like, Pro V1s. They're like, X, left dash. What do you want? I'm like, left dash. And they had my name and a bag and a speaker and a car set up there with my...
That's cool.
It was sick. So, and then I was there for probably 15 hours. Wow. Breakfast, 18 holes. Lunch, 9 holes to even the match. And another extra 10 holes to play after that. It was a blast, and we're playing with Cameron Chingali on the Live Tour and stud golfer, bunch of movie stars. I mean,
so is it? I mean, you're a pretty good golfer. So I mean, I shoot on a good day. I might shoot a shoot at 85. On a
That's
bad
good.
day, I might shoot at 95, and probably somewhere in the middle.
Break 100.
I mean, for a regular guy, I mean, anybody that's played golf, like just teeing off on a tee box is intimidating with some nobody at a public course that isn't any good either. And you still, what's it like? Like that's what I would be worried about is like, man, I mean, I already know like I'm capable of slicing one right into the woods here multiple times. Is that
nerve wracking for sure? It still kind of is. Like even I've known Gary for a while now, and playing today was a little nerve wracking. Well, not nerve wracking, but the first 4 holes I was 3 under today. I was tearing them up. We had a little game. And I feel bad because I'm a people person. We're not playing for a lot of money, but I took the edge off playing good. But playing at Trump's course with President Trump was definitely the most nervous I'd ever been because I was already shaking from meeting him.
Yeah, I was going to ask you which was you. So you got an opportunity to play with Trump.
Yeah,
which and what you say you would be more nervous with him?
Yeah, because Jordan, in my mind, so the Goated mentality, I'm always like, I'm thinking I'm already better than Michael Jordan. Every golf shot, I'm like, I'm better than you at everything. I have to think that way.
Yeah, right. He would expect nothing different.
Yeah. So it was a little bit easier, although it was nerve-wracking, but it was just such an awesome day that it was, I'd already grooved in, and you're hitting the range and you played 36 holes. There's no rules. You're taking it all in. And I was better. I have an easier time in golf when I'm better than the people I'm playing with. When Trump's pretty good. He's really good. Yeah. He's a good golfer. And he's President Trump. You got Secret Service watching you, and you got like 40 people that aren't playing golf watching you.
Yeah,
that's
enough.
Yeah, that was way more nerve wracking, but a blessing for sure. And the guys he was playing with, I felt foolish. I didn't know some of David Frost and these legends from back in the day, golfers that were just playing, and I didn't know till after.
Yeah,
I would have been more nervous. So that was a God thing. But
yeah, that was a good thing that you didn't know. Yeah, I was gonna say with Trump, like, not to get like even off track or political, but I was like, if you watch the YouTube series with Trump and DeChambeau, I was like, man, like you can, leave politics sort of out of it and just like, if like, I mean, the news is always going to report to different stuff, but I mean, he just seems like a cool guy that like, he seems just like a nice guy. He was respectful, complimentary, but you could tell he's still got some golf game in him. And
he's a good player and great guy. They've been awesome to me, the whole Trump family. Every time I'm with those type of people, and same thing, anyone in politics, I know I have no desire to be in it. I have no desire to, but I just thank them. I'm praying for him because the sacrifice he's done, in my opinion, and the kids have done, the stuff that they go through, Eric, every time I talk to him, it's all like, hey, praying for you, love you, hope you're well, because I know you're getting attacked from 8,000 angles. No.
I can't even, I mean,
I can't handle like 5 comments. I get 5 or 6 bad comments, and I'm like, oh, we got to fix our Google review.
Right? Yeah, you get a couple of negatives, and
Google
you're like,
review. Yeah.
That was actually, I had the last guest, Nikki Frizz, and he has like, he has a good following on TikTok, and that was one of my questions was like, how do you handle just the people that are being mean? And his comment was that he's like, usually when I go to their page, it's a picture of their dog or something. I'm like, dude, it totally is. They got no videos. It's a picture of one of their animals, and then they're an expert on, golf clubs and, whatever. For me, it's like, they're always calling me on some code. I was like, what code are you even talking about? Who is this guy? Yeah. So it's, no,
you got to blank it out.
Yeah. So, golf can traditionally be kind of a stiff sport, it's like used to be, I know because I've seen a lot of your, I've been to your spot and I've seen your stuff, but I mean, like, what makes you stand out, you feel like, with, and I mean, do you feel like golf, so it's a kind of a double question there. Like, do you feel like golf's really making a change, and then, how do you try to make yourself stand out from, I guess your competitors?
Yeah. The golf's definitely making a change. It's definitely more accessible. It's trying to be more inclusive, of both genders, only 2 of them. And all ethnicities. It never was that way. When I grew up in Miami, I was telling Gary today, I hated golf and golfers because I thought golfers had the best grass, and I'm not allowed to play on it. I look out at it or I drive by, and I'm like, I'm not allowed to go inside these gates. You have great grass. Let me play on that. Let me play football on that.
Right.
So is this like, it's definitely changed. Definitely more accessible. Top Golf and these other indoor simulator places that have opened to this bowling alley structure of a business helps a ton because people pick up the club for the first time.
Yeah.
You don't have to go play 18 and pay $150 to see if you're good at golf and to see if you like it. You go play like bowling alley setting and hit golf balls. That's been huge.
Get the club in your hand and like, wow, this thing's, I mean, I actually did pretty good.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, usually at Top Golf, you think it's good because it's like, oh, I hit it. I'm like, that wasn't really a good golf shot, but it gets you. It gets you
and
going.
It's just like us. You hit one good shot, that'll make you think, okay, I need to go get some clubs. I need to get fitted.
Yeah, right.
I need to play Saturday, next day off. So that's helped a lot. But our product, and the second part, the product to stay relevant. I mean, there's a brand, not to plug other brands, but Malbin has kind of changed the game. They're a West Coast kind of brand. I don't like any of their stuff. I know Steven that owns the company well. I've talked to him a couple of times. He's killed it. He had a ton of money behind him that helped him get into Jason Day's wardrobe sponsorship and lineup. But there's some things changing with the look of the old school golf products and the old school golf look. My hat that I'm wearing, we're changing. I just got this. Every hole in this hat is a goat.
Is a goat. I was just telling you the other day. It's super cool, super cool. And I'm a hat guy, so I'm
pumped for that.
Yeah,
I gotta try to protect. We're trying to protect that right now, so we can just make a ton of hats that have goat perforations. But my whole thing's mentality in golf. If you don't have a positive mentality, you have 0% chance to be good. Like you've seen it on tour. These guys that are going through it. You've seen, unfortunately, in the last couple of years, there's been one guy that took his life that was struggling and wasn't mentally there, and that might have been clinical but that in golf you just don't have a chance if you're constantly thinking, oh, I got a bad break or I got this. Like you gotta laugh things off. You gotta be next shot, next play mentality, and you have to have confidence. And I joke about, like, I coached basketball for a long time and played football. If you can make a good play, you can catch a ball. If you have negative thoughts, you can bank in a free throw off the backboard or off the string or on top or whatever. You can make stuff on accident. In golf, there's not many accidental good shots or makes. You gotta have positive thoughts. So Goated tries to do that. We try to embrace the GOATs mentalities. When you're standing over a putt, you got to be thinking Jordan Game 6 or flu game or whatever you're thinking about.
Yeah, so, just saw some clips of that the other day. I had forgot about how cool that was. That was a cool Jordan moment.
Yeah. And the Kobe stuff. We had a Kobe drop. We had a Yankees drop. Guy. You have to have, and you have to make sacrifices. The Goated mentality Bible studies, crazy too, which we'll talk about probably another time. But like, I think the book, little 7-day book I wrote, I'm like, you got no chance in a lot of things if you don't make sacrifices, you don't work hard. There's no goats out there that just kind of Fortnited till 2:00 in the morning and then rolled out to a game. Now Jordan was special, but he put in the work. Larry Bird, they put in the work and they grinded, made sacrifices, and that's what you have to do. I also preach those things too with the brand. So. One
of the things that I Kobe's my favorite player. When I came in, I got a cool putter head, Kobe putter head with the goat on it, but. He talks about like the championship, and he's like, yeah, of course you're trying to win the championship. And, but he's like, you're the champion for like a day, you know what I mean? And then the next day you're like, all right, well, we're the target. And he's like, when you look back on it, it's like, it's the journey. And I think it's like, just like a business, and it could be anything. It could be fitness. It could be anything. It's like, like really, let's say if it's to lose weight, I'm on like a weight loss journey or whatever. And it's like, it's like, man, it's so slow. It takes forever. Like you see some little changes. And then all of a sudden, like one day you're going to be like, dude, you're going to get there. If you stick with it, you're going to get to this point. Yeah. And then you're going to look back and you're like, okay, well, all right, cool. And I got a 6-pack and I look good, but now I got to keep it, you know? And it's like, you can't just like, okay, I got to go back. It's like, you got to keep doing what you did every single day, but now you got to strive a little bit harder to get to that next level.
Exactly.
And, but it's like that journey of building the business that you're going to think back to is like, those moments where like, Christmas last season, there's days where I'm like in my truck. I can remember a couple of times just like bawling, you know what I mean? Literally just like bawling because, you got all these people calling, they got problems with water and their lights are out and you got all this stuff going on. Yeah. And then I'm like, I got to get 8 installs done, or whatever tomorrow. And then I got 8 the next day and it's like, just like, you're like, how do I do this, man? It's like, but that's what makes you great. The people that can get through that and succeed, I think, no, that's what makes you different. That's what makes you the boss, I guess.
No, exactly. That's what the weight we have to carry as an entrepreneur. And all of it makes you stronger. It's that old adage. You can just build that endurance like going to the gym. You get struggles and it's building that strength up so you can carry more and handle more. So that's part of that age thing too. I'm sure I'm realizing now.
Yeah, it takes
go through those bumps and grinds. If you do that at 26, if you would have been through that installing eight houses a day and complaints and a bad Google review in one day at 26, might have broke you. Might have been like, I'm done with this business.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a great point. Like sometimes, you know, since we're talking about your faith and my faith is the same, you know, I think sometimes the answer is no. Like the answer from God can be no.
Yeah.
Because you ain't ready for it. It's like actually to protect you. And I was like, man, I was, you know, even when I owned a gym before this, I think I told you, and man, it was a great business. I learned so much through it, but man, like if I were to go back and open a gym, like, I mean, I just wasn't, I wasn't ready for like Naples and like even just this next level of like, you know, business, even though it's totally different. So I can totally relate with, like, man, I wasn't cut out for, and I mean, I could go into a million other things. I don't want to keep talking about me because I did want to kind of transition to one question is, do you have anybody professionally that's rocking the gear? Like, do you have any sponsors yet?
Yeah, so we don't sponsor anyone luckily right now. I say that luckily because people are asking for it. We have a bunch of pro players in the NFL and NBA that have our stuff and have asked for it. We give them a code. If we have the inventory, sometimes I'll send them some stuff that gets really old quickly because my DMs luckily and messages are all people wanting that are big. They have big followings or they're pro athletes. On the golf tour, I've made putters for Billy Horschel.
Okay.
Stud. He's great dude.
Great golfer.
We've had some great times. I played with him at about a year ago and made him a Florida Gators putter. He went to the Gators, or he went to Florida. I have Grayson Sig, thanks to a great friend I have in town here that sponsors Grayson Sig. He's a good golfer, Georgia guy, and on tour. We got a bunch of coaches with our stuff. We're coming out with a stability shaft that most tour guys are asking for when we make them some stuff. So we've made a bunch of them. I sent one to Scotty Scheffler. I sent one to, I texted him yesterday, Ted Scott. I texted Ted Scott yesterday, his caddy, and was like, man, imagine how much he would have won by if he would have used a good putter.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. And that's awesome.
So Scotty's got some putters. Yeah, he's the man.
I love Scotty.
He's on a run right now.
Yeah, he is.
But a bunch of guys, Jordan Spieth, I've sent. Haven't heard yet. Those kind of things. They all get tons of clubs.
Yeah.
And our clubs, our putters are amazing now. The first couple, they were awesome. The first couple, but putters. We've made adjustments for tour guys and balance, and we can customize stuff. I have a great fitter, so it's going to be. That's not our focus. I don't want to pay players right now. I think we've done well enough, and I'm a limited drop. We're a limited drop company, so. Luckily, our putters sell out without anyone endorsing it or posting it.
Yeah.
But we're trying to grow our club memberships. We have a GOAT club, so you guarantee yourself a putter. I want to grow that, and I want to build some goated clubhouses. We have our first one opening in like October, middle of October. We'll be in Bonita.
Okay.
2 simulators. Only gold members are allowed in there, and they get a putter every single month. So some things like that we're trying to grow more than like recognition, which is good because I'm still praying for the best timing and where God wants us to be. I mean, recognition's great, but there's some stuff that comes with it if Billy Horschel used our putter, he used it a couple of times. If it betrayed him, or like we say in golf, like clubs betray you, that could hurt your business just as much. Like if he starts putting poorly and the stats are crazy on the tour. So they can pretty much see when you switch putters what you went to putting wise and strokes gained. But
it could change your life at the same time. Yeah, Scotty Scheffler sinks a putt in the Masters or something. I mean, anybody. Yeah. It could have been Rory or whatever.
True.
And they see that Goated logo, and all of a sudden, you're not having time to do no podcast anymore.
Exactly.
You're like, so that's what's so cool about it. Is like it could be God's timing. Maybe you're just not ready.
Yeah.
And then right time comes and the right opportunity or whatever. So
True. It's coming for sure.
I'm excited to see, where this goes for you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, so I wanted to ask you, where do you see? This is like a little segment that I'm starting to do called the brighter side. This is where I want to kind of transition into like, where's Goated in 10 years? Where do you see it?
10 years.
Where do you hope it's at?
Man, I've been doing 5-year plans, but 10 years. That's a great question. 10 years, I would say, I'd love to have 10 to 15. I was going to say 5, but 10 to 15 goated clubhouses across the U.S., indoor simulators.
Yeah.
It's been done before, but not the way I'm doing it. The club membership style where they're going to get a putter and the merch and be a part of the brand. Where those clubhouses could also be a place for youth to do after school stuff a little bit. I want the club members to have access, but I would love it to be a place that honors God, that brings people to a fun place where they can hit balls, putt, chip, work on their golf game, but also be around good people in a good environment, and be able to have pastors and people there for. I have a passion for like the recovery side of life when people are struggling with stuff, and so I'd love it to be a place of refuge, but a great place for people that are like-minded, the go-to mentality, embracing the go-to mentality, or you wouldn't be a club member. You wouldn't give us $700 to $1,000 a month if you didn't believe in what we were doing, and love our stuff. So 10 years, I'd love to have that. And I'd love to have a green grass facility. We're working on a couple projects right now that could be the Goated.
Like you're saying, like a golf course, right?
Golf course. Yeah. The Goated golf course is in the works.
What do you think? This is just kind of a total side. I don't know. Maybe I've shared this idea with you, but like, what do you think about like a 13-hole course? Is that a stupid idea? I mean, I know that you're never going to get like a championship like there, but I feel like 13 holes is like, I mean, and I love golf, but I like to go out and play. Like, I don't want to play 36. I mean, I would in some instances, I guess, but I feel like 13, like 9 sometimes isn't enough. Like, you're like, man, I'm just into my groove. I'm finally warmed up. I'm playing great.
Yeah.
And then I can get to like 13, 14. And then I'm like, okay.
So true. Like, you've probably heard me on another podcast maybe say that. And I said the same thing.
Really?
Well, I preach it all the time. I think golf should be 14 holes.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, 14 holes and
great mindset.
Done.
I told you.
It's crazy. I think 18 is too much, but I love golf. So the golf, what are they, naturalists or whatever, like activists are going to be like, how dare you? But I think it's hard for me today. My whole morning was shot. I was golfing until I got here today. Man. Yeah. It takes too long, but I would love that. We actually, my guys at the shop and a part of the Goated warehouse and Goated staff, we love going and traveling to the short courses. So we went to Pinehurst and brought the whole staff twice now in the last year, 9 holes. It's 9 holes, walking, amazing. Hang out, wedges off the turf. That's where we would probably start, but you have to have 18 if you want to have anyone come out there and play and
like
put a true match together. Yeah, it's tough. And you can't put in your score, and the gin doesn't count as a round unless you play 18.
So there's I didn't think about some of that stuff.
But no, I'm with you on that. We're on the same page. I think 14 holes, 13 holes is perfect.
It could be, I don't want to like even give to, I mean, I feel like it's such a good idea that I'm like, somebody, it's less land, I mean, it's like you could do some other cool things and make it like more of an experience.
Yeah.
Maybe we should like share this idea off. No, I don't want to get too many good ideas, but I have thought this out before just on my own experience. And I wanted to touch on one other thing as we start to kind of roll up.
Yeah.
I thought, I know you went to the Live Miami. I was there as well with my wife, and I was really surprised, and you're more into the golf, world than I am, obviously, but, and I love golf and I play, but, I was surprised kind of going back to like how cool golf has become. Like there was so many girls, like just groups of like younger, probably in their mid 20s, early 30s, just they're hanging out. They had a couple drinks and they were just like walking around following people. And I was like, I would have like never thought that. I would have just thought like it was a bunch of guys that, and I don't even know if that sounds sexist. I don't mean for it to. That was just what I like thought it would be like. And I was like so taken back. I was like, wow, this is cool. It's just like a cool, chill vibe.
The PGA Tour and Live both have gotten a lot younger crowds.
Yeah.
The YouTube, the PGA Tour has a thing in place for players to get bonuses if they start YouTube channels and Instagram.
I didn't know that.
To get more notoriety to their brand and to the PGA Tour, they get bonuses for hitting certain metrics. Bryson DeChambeau is killing it of all golfers. He's the guy.
Yeah, he's good.
And they drive a ton because they know Bryson's single. They know a lot of the other guys are single. They know there's some younger players there. But PGA Tour has it too. They have young kids, young guys playing on their tour, playing on PGA Tour events every week. But you will see, especially I've been to a lot of events, you'll see on the nights that there's a concert, the crowd's way younger and people you wouldn't see at a golf tournament typically. And PGA Tour does it too. They have creator classics and concerts for veterans almost every tournament. They do a great job of that, and that brings a different crowd. So it depends on the day you go, but Live's a party for sure. There's a lot less golf being watched at Live events.
Yeah, and I haven't been to PGA. Like I haven't been to a PGA one, to compare them.
Yeah.
But I would imagine, there would be some differences. But I don't know how
Yeah,
much.
we'll have to go to one. They're in Florida a ton. They're
All the
over
time.
this year, but
Yeah.
yeah, you'll love it. It's changed, but I love golf events. The PGA Tour events, as much as I love the live guys, the PGA Tour are way more fun for me. It's real golf. You're watching golf, and
Yeah.
you can sit on a hole and see everybody throughout the day, and you have a
Yeah.
lot more knowledge of what's going on throughout the day
Yeah.
with scoring and everything. But yeah, it's changing for sure. Golf and the podcasts, YouTubes, and stuff that's growing for next generation having interest. The TGL on TV, I didn't think was going to do very well. It did really well with ratings because you
Yeah.
get to watch your guys you want to watch the whole time instead of going to commercial break.
Yeah.
And
I wasn't sure I was
bouncing
going to do
around.
either.
Yeah, it
It
did pretty
was,
good.
it was like more entertaining than I
Yeah,
like thought it was going to be personally.
for sure.
So what's something you're working on right now that no one knows about? Like, what is it? What is it? Personal stuff? Is it business? Is it,
Yeah, that's a good
what's
question.
something you dialed in on?
I'm trying to grow. We're actually, that no one knows, we're starting a foundation. So the Goated Foundation's a nonprofit because we gave a ton of stuff last year, which is great. I'm grateful for that. But we didn't do it the right way, tax wise, right? We just gave tons of clubs away, tons of stuff. And we did a lot of veteran stuff and a lot of first responder stuff, which is great. And I want to do more of that. So no one knows about that except 4 people in the world right now, or 5 people. So now everyone that's listening knows.
Whoever else, right?
So we'll be able to do some stuff here. And there's a lot of people that want to be involved with Goated and what we're doing and want to do philanthropically. So that'll be great. Beyond that, I'm trying to just grow our staff. I never thought I'd have 40 people working for me. And
wow, I didn't realize you had that
on
many.
us. Yeah. Finally got an assistant. I'm working on getting some help there because you've seen I got 2 phones that I don't answer either one of them and can't answer either one of them. But blessed and just praying for the right staff, the right people to go full time and grow this thing with us. But that's that. And then I've got 10 people in the Hamptons right now at a golf tournament that with Jerome Bettis finishing probably in the next hour or two. That's been great, and that's going to grow into like a tour kind of thing with a lot of NFL athletes and stuff like that. So some of those big things, I'm hoping we'll see what works out and what makes the most sense, but going to keep pushing good products. We have irons. No one really knows we have iron sets coming.
I've seen them.
Yeah.
And they're nice looking. Yeah. They're cool. I think you got some black shafted ones and the white and black.
Those are awesome.
I mean, I personally like the black shafts and I don't know, man. I just think they just pop, you know. They really do. They're very nice.
A couple versions of those wedges will be sweet, but we have we'll be a full gamut of golf clubs soon. We'll have irons all the way to driver, Goated branded. So we're working on that very actively. So that'll be next couple months will be huge for that because then we're talking not Goated putters anymore. Now it's Goated golf and it's a true Goated brands kind of setup.
Yeah, you're like full scale.
Yeah.
Yeah, full scale.
Tailor-made competitor or Nike or a Callaway.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, is there any brands or whatever that you'd like to, be a part of, like that you'd like to co-work with? Like who would that dream brand be?
I think the only thing that makes sense, we're a limited drop company, so there's 3 brands that would make sense, but I don't know if I would do it because we don't align. But Jordan, we have that kind of set up. The number's too big and it's too much of a pain. We'd have to give up pretty much everything. Supreme, Jordan, and Yeezy. Kanye West I love the guy for who he is, but I obviously he's nuts in some ways sometimes.
Yeah.
But those 3 companies have killed it on the limited drop business. So we market similar to them. We followed some of their stuff they did well and didn't do a lot of things they did well just to be safe and be the best that we think we should be.
Yeah.
But those 3 brands would be sick because they're a limited drop company and all of their followers know exactly what it means when they push notify that they're going live with a drop. You only have 10 seconds to get get the stuff.
You gotta pop, yeah.
That's that. We're creating. I'm on calls every day to partner with brands that do some of the same stuff we do. So I kind of pass on a lot of that. And we're building our own stuff for almost everything. So it's hard to partner with anybody. That's the only thing we don't do yet is shoes. We got from socks all the way to hats, underwear. We got everything that's our own now.
Yeah.
But shoes, anything that has a lot of sizes and a lot of inventory.
That's tough. Yeah.
I'm trying to stay away from. But
yeah, maybe you should do like some slides or something.
Yeah, we're working on a G4 possibly partnership to make G4 Goated.
Yeah, that would be probably like, because a lot of times you don't have to do half sizes or whatever.
No,
so
exactly.
I don't have to tell you like all this stuff, but
right.
like right now with, like Yeezys and like that's all my kids wear, and it's like, you guys wear socks with sandals, and so I was going to tell you just a funny story. One of my son's friends, I just thought of this. I don't know, this is sort of random, but from Kansas City. So I'm a big Chiefs fan. And Patrick Mahomes and like Steph Curry and Travis Kelce and these guys, they did this golf. I don't know if you remember, they did a golf thing on TV. Well, one of my son's friends, he's going to love that I say this, but his name's Anthony. They call him Ant. And Patrick Mahomes shanked one and it hit him. He was the kid that got hit on TV and he just got like nailed on the side or whatever. But Patrick came over and like signed a ball for him and Travis and he was totally fine. But I was like, man, it's like, come on, give me that ball. I was like, I'm from Kansas City. That means more to me than you. I don't know. It's kind of crazy that guy got hit with a ball by Patrick Mahomes. So shout out to you, Ant. So I didn't know you was going to make the podcast today, but
there you go.
But anyways, okay, let's wrap it up. I want to ask you some rapid fire questions a little bit to finish up.
Let's do it.
And then we're gonna wrap this baby up. So favorite golfer, it could be past, present, future. Who's your guy? Who
favorite golfer? I got to go Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, I saw
His
Tiger
stretch was insane.
Track. His daughter and my daughter ran track against each other in the state, and he was just in the stands. Man, I couldn't believe it. I don't know. He may have had some like bodyguards in the background ready to like knock somebody out. He's had a backwards hat on. He was just in the middle chilling. I was like, cool. Yeah, cool, it's just being a regular guy. I mean, I know he's just a regular guy, but it's like it's like freaking Tiger Woods. Yeah. So it's like pretty cool at the same time. So, who's your favorite all-time athlete?
Favorite all-time athlete. A couple months ago it would have been different, but I'd say Tim Tebow is one of my favorites now. I'm watching his podcasts that are blowing my mind, the stuff he's doing.
Yeah, but he's doing some cool stuff and sad stuff. I mean, like, his stuff he's doing with like within the world. It's not a sports podcast, by the way.
In the U.S. No, I know.
Yeah.
Stuff that's happening in our home
country,
home country. But Michael Jordan would have been the answer for a long time. He's just a nut job. I delusionally confident nut job. Told him to his face, I'm like, you're a nut job. Because we beat him, and I had to come back on Thanksgiving to play him again because he couldn't sleep. He just doesn't like losing. Can't lose.
Yeah, that's so cool. I'd love to meet him someday. But Naples Restaurant, you taking your girl out? Where are you going?
Naples Restaurant. My wife and I love seated table.
Yeah.
Shout out Alfie.
Yeah.
Their steak's the best. I mean, Fifth Avenue's got some good spots, but seated table by far.
Naples, if you haven't been to Naples, I mean, you got to just come. I mean, there's so much to do. It's like it's hard to even visit them all. It's hard to even pick a restaurant, to be honest. But all right, best course you've ever played.
Best course I've ever played. Nicest course I've ever played. Best golf course is National Golf Links in New York.
Okay.
In the Hamptons. That's where the guys are at right now. I'm jealous.
Man, yeah. We played Torrey Pines. Me and my family played Torrey Pines this summer, or excuse me, this it was Christmas break. Actually, crazy story. It was, and I may have told you this. So we go to Torrey Pines. We're staying not where the players stay, but right next to it in a hotel. I think we're there 3 days. It's a quarter mile of a walk to the clubhouse or whatever. And we're there for like 2 days, and just normal walk down, play golf, walk back. And I'm like walking back, and where the players stay, all of a sudden I see like a couple guys in some black, shirts. I'm not really paying attention to be truthful. And then I'm like, and they're like, and I've been walking up the alley in between them to go in the side door to, go in my hotel. I've been doing this for like 3 days.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden these guys are like, he's like, you can't go down there. I was like, why? And he's like, you just can't. And I was kind of like, I mean, all right. It was like, somebody died. Like, what's going on here? And he's like, oh, some important people are here or whatever. And I was like, all right, whatever. And then I start looking around, and there's snipers on the roof. There's a helicopter that's like flying around, and JD Vance, I found out ended up being that JD Vance was, and I think this was right after it would have been right after the election. So he was just newly, and I don't know what was going on, a meeting or whatever, probably something about I don't know what's going on, obviously, but man, you couldn't even get close to that thing. I just couldn't believe. And then I started to notice, like in the hotel, all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, these guys, me and my wife, were probably thinking, I don't know how like crazy the intel is, But I'm guessing that like they probably have to do a check of like all the guests. I'm probably like, oh, here comes Cory Adams. This guy's,
yeah.
you know, totally weak. Nothing to worry about with this guy or whatever. And that's probably why he's like laughing. He kind of get it. He's like, I was like, what's going on, man? He's like,
that's
can't say, but just, you know, he's like, kind of like, I get it. You know, it's overkill, but you know, it's
the President Trump thing was crazy.
I couldn't imagine what Trump.
Yeah,
like,
I went to
like.
That was a fluke because, or not a fluke, it was a God thing. But I went to the Mar-a-Lago to drop off a bunch of drivers and putters that I had for the head pro at Mar-a-Lago, and I pull in and there's probably 60 SUVs.
Oh my gosh!
And I'm like, and it was 2022 when I met him, so he wasn't president at the time.
Yeah,
and I didn't think anything of it. Pulled in there, never been to Mar-a-Lago really.
Yeah.
Walked in, going to the pro shop, walking by guys with radios. I'm like, this just must be normal.
Yeah.
Got earpieces in. Didn't think anything of it. I walk in, and President Trump's there, kind of spread, leaning over the desk. He's a tall guy,
just chilling.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, there's two people in the whole pro shop. It's me and President Trump talking to the head pro.
Yeah,
and it was a rainy day.
With him, maybe.
Yeah, it was insane.
Did you get to talk to him?
Yeah, so I talked to him that day, and that's how I got to golf with him. So he's like, yeah, we got rained out today. And I said, well, if there's any room on the tee sheet, I'm here for another day. Would love to come teach the president how to play golf or teach Mr. President how to play golf. And he hears me and turns around and he's like, bring it on. And I was like, when are you playing tomorrow? And he's like, we have 12 of us. We can make it 13. And one guy bailed, so there's 12 of us who played in a round robin. But that was why it happened. And I was shaking in there because I'm like, no way. How did I even get in here?
Yeah, that's
I'm carrying so cool, 5 clubs in my hand. They must have the same thing. Looked at my record and gone, okay, good. Like he's delivering golf
safe.
Clubs.
Yeah, he's safe.
But amazing. He was great to me. And my grandfather had just passed away. My grandfather was a big Trump guy, so he wrote a bunch of letters, and he knew my grandfather as a pastor, missionary. So he said he did. I don't know if you know, but nice guy. And then we played golf the next day. But same thing. I didn't think anything of it. Saw a ton of trucks, ton of people in suits, and I was like, and then you get in there like, oh no, that's cool.
I actually called Mar-a-Lago, like maybe like a month ago or something. I mean, I called it because I was like, hey, you guys got anybody that does your Christmas lights? I mean, you guys do. You ain't got the best. I mean, whatever, but we'll see what happens. No, they're pretty much like, I don't know. You know, it's like, it is what it is. But I think like that. I dream big like that. I'm like, man, you know what? It's like, if I'm going to go to the East Coast or if I'm going to go over to the other coast, like I might as well start with the best place and go with that. But
I love it.
That's kind of a wrap, man. Where can people find you? Like how can we find you? I mean, we'll put them in the show notes, but where do you want people to go find out where you're at?
Download the Goated Golf app. That's the best thing.
Okay.
It's in the App Store, Android market, because I send a push notification once every week, once every couple of days if we're doing something cool or we're giving something away for free or we have a drop.
Okay.
But Goated Putters on Instagram, Kevin Vanduser on Instagram.
Okay.
That'd be great.
Yeah, we'll put all that stuff in the show notes, and
awesome.
And you know, we appreciate you coming on, man. It's like I'm happy for you, just genuinely, because I can see how this can pop off. And you know, it's as a business owner, it just, you know, it's cool to see people go after it. And I think there's so many people that, you know, they talk about it and they want to do it. They try to. I did a post today, and it was just like, you know, you're gonna sit here and you're gonna say, you know, I want to do this, and you're gonna try to write it down. You're gonna try to do all this stuff. You're gonna do all the research. You're gonna do all this stuff, and then it's just gonna pass you up, because at some point, man, you gotta order the putter. You gotta, you know, whatever, knock on a door and take go action for it, you know. And so. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching the episode. Thank you, Kevin, for being on here. Goated Putters. I got cool gear. Go check them out, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Stay goated.